Welcome to the deep dive. We've got a fantastic set of sources today, really a powerful mix of personal stories and some pretty unconventional business ideas.
That's right. And they all seem to circle back to two things that stop most people cold.
The fear of just starting
Yeah.
and that, paralyzing fear of asking for what you want.
Exactly. So if you're feeling stuck in what they call analysis paralysis, endlessly researching but never quite launching, this deep dive is for you.
Our mission here is to really screen away all the complex strategies.
And just pull out the core actionable mindsets. We're talking concrete challenges that can turn that information overload into actual immediate momentum.
Okay, so to really get into the psychology here, we have to start at what I think is the ultimate before and after moment.
Right, the absolute low point.
Exactly. We're talking June 2006. So imagine this. You are 24 years old. You're living in the original Facebook house with the other founders. You're Facebook's 30th hire.
And you have 0.1% of the company. I mean, that's an equity stake that in just a few years could be worth $1 billion. You've made it.
You are set. The dream is achieved. And then poof, it's gone.
In less time than it takes to order a coffee. His boss, Matt Kohler, pulls him aside at a coffee shop and just tells him his time at Facebook is over. Fired after just 9 months and 8 days.
And the reason is just brutal. He was called a liability.
A liability. The sources point to a couple of things. One, apparently he leaked the company's expansion plans at a party during Coachella.
And two, what they saw is just too much self-promotion. He was using his role to write these, very visible blog posts and host startup events all on his personal site.
But the emotional cost, that's the part that really matters for us. It wasn't just that he was unemployed. He was, completely engulfed in shame.
Think about the timing, too. He was just 3 months away from his stock starting to vest. So he spends the next 8 months basically just wallowing.
Feeling totally unworthy of the success he'd barely even touched. He really internalized that firing. It basically confirmed every single insecurity he'd ever had about himself.
And to really unpack that insecurity, we have to go back even further. Because that feeling of being, found out,
Yeah.
It didn't just start at Facebook.
No, not at all. He grew up in the Bay Area, Lynbrook High, which is super competitive. He was surrounded by the kids of tech royalty.
Right. Kids who were basically destined to be like a senior developer at Google or a founder at Lyft. He said he felt completely average next to them.
And his early career, it just kind of confirms this feeling of always needing to sneak in. He only got into Berkeley because another freshman dropped out of an extension class.
But the real blow, I think, was being placed in ESL English as a second language.
Even though he was born in America.
Right. Just because his SAT English scores were low. Imagine what that does to your internal story.
Yeah.
The system is telling you over and over, you're not good enough.
And the almost successes just kept happening. Rejected from a Microsoft internship after bad interviews. Google actually rescinded a pre-IPO job offer.
Because he couldn't do long division? In the interview, he admits it.
So when Zuckerberg's team calls him a liability, it just cements this belief that, okay, I'm not smart enough, I'm not skilled enough for the big leagues.
But here's where the story pivots. And for us, this is where it gets really, really interesting.
Lying on the couch 8 months later, he has this realization. His core talent wasn't some polished skill or academic brilliance.
No, it was a spark, a knack for just picking great opportunities.
The skill was messy, it was disorganized, it was rough, but that huge failure, getting fired, it suddenly became liberating.
He stopped hiding it.
He started embracing it. Being the guy fired by Facebook actually became his calling card, and people loved the story.
He realized he had to stop trying to be perfect and just figure out entrepreneurship my own way.
And that's what sparks this period he calls endless experimentation. And we're not talking about, graceful, calculated moves. This was chaos.
Chaotic is definitely the word. At the same time, he's starting an online sports betting site. He hates sports. He's flying to Jeju Island in Korea to teach online marketing.
He's launching a personal CRM. And somehow he's also creating a conference business, Community Next, that starts pulling in $50,000 an event. It was just sheer volume over precision.
And that sheer volume leads him right to the Mint.com story. He's so pumped about the product he offers to be their director of marketing.
And the founder, Aaron Patzer, looks at him and says, you have literally no marketing experience.
And his answer was perfect. I just started. He just dove in, created a plan based on momentum, not a resume.
And the results were, you can't argue with them. He gets 100,000 registered users before Mint even launches.
1 million users 6 months later. That got him the full-time offer, a $100,000 salary, and 1% of the company.
Then the company sells to Intuit for $170 million less than 2 years after that.
But, and this is the key decision, he leaves before his stock fully vests.
Yeah.
He walks away from a guaranteed multi-million-dollar payout. Why?
It was a bet. A calculated bet on his own freedom and potential. He did the math. The Mint vesting schedule would max out at around $2 million pre-tax over 4 years.
So he asked himself a simple question.
Yeah, could I make more money and have more freedom if I just bet on myself? He bet yes. He created a company called Kickflip.
Which then morphed into Gambit.
Right, a payment system for social games. And that company generated $15 million in revenue in less than 2 years.
Wow, so the thread connecting all this chaos, from Mint to Gambit, it's this deliberate refusal to wait. No permission, no perfection.
It was an obsession with speed. Which brings us to the first big idea for you to take away. The power of W, not how.
This is such a critical distinction. Most people get stuck in analysis paralysis. They overthink everything first, they buy the books, they take the courses, they make the perfect plan.
And then maybe they act later, if at all. Successful entrepreneurs just flip that completely. They act first, they figure out the how as they go.
They use real-world feedback as their only teacher.
Exactly.
Okay, but I have to push back a little here, because acting first can sound, a bit reckless, like a recipe for burning through money or wasting time. What if my idea is complex, like manufacturing something? Does act first still apply?
That's a great question, but the sources argue that all that analysis you do beforehand, it's just speculation. It's a guess.
It doesn't actually prevent the real problems from showing up?
Not at all. Action creates momentum, and that immediate feedback loop you get is 1,000,000 times more valuable than trying to learn the how from a book. You just need a small test, not a full-blown launch.
Give us the clearest example of this.
The AppSumo ad agency meeting. It's perfect.
Wow.
So an agency is pitching them, and at the end, they say, great, we'll email you a recap with all the passwords and assets we need. The usual stuff.
We'll get started in 24 hours. Standard.
But he stops the meeting right there and says, no, let's do all of that right now. And in 5 minutes, they get the passwords, the Facebook access, everything they need.
And they saved a full day of waiting.
An entire day. That's the W, not how habit. You're optimizing for time, not for, the appearance of efficiency.
That reframes it perfectly. It's seeing that gap of time as the real enemy.
Okay, so to help you put this into action, we have an experiment for you. The W, not how experiment.
We want you to text a trusted friend or colleague. Literally, you can pause this deep dive if you need to. Just send this exact script.
The script is, hey, first name. I'm trying to come up with some business ideas right now. You know me well, so I was wondering what kind of business you think I'd be good at.
That's it. Hit send. Don't overthink it. You've just taken action, and now you're gathering real data.
Okay, so once we have momentum, we need fuel. A lot of people aim for these huge abstract goals like change the world.
Right, but the sources suggest a much better, much more concrete fuel source. The pursuit of simple freedom, which brings us to the freedom number. And the freedom number is not the price of a mansion. It's a simple, recurring monthly revenue number that represents the cost of your personal freedom, what you need to cover your basics and just stop worrying about money.
For the entrepreneur we're studying, his initial freedom number was $3,000 a month.
And he broke it down, which is key. $1,000 for housing, $1,000 for food and travel, and $1,000 for savings and investment. It's not a huge number.
No, but it's an anchor. And it works for 2 reasons. First, it's doable. It's 100% attainable. So you're attaching this infinite value freedom to a finite, non-scary number.
And second, and this is so important, it's concrete and urgent. A goal of $3,000 a month isn't some abstract thing like $20 million net worth by age 40.
Exactly. It forces you to ask, what can I do today or this week to make money? It focuses you on the simple mechanics.
This is how you avoid getting lost in complexity. The freedom number just reminds you that business is simple. Make $1, then repeat it.
So here's the freedom number experiment for you. Choose a short-term monthly revenue goal that feels totally attainable, something that doesn't scare you.
It could be $500, it could be $5,000, whatever it is, write it down. That is now your concrete, immediate target for all your now, not how actions.
All right, so setting goals is one thing, but achieving them means you're going to face a ton of resistance.
Which brings us to the second massive principle. You have to get a gold medal in rejection.
And this philosophy comes from an amazing story about his father.
An Israeli immigrant who sold copiers. And this guy had a thick accent. He was pitching, crappy copiers, and his entire day was just no, 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 no.
The entrepreneur, when he was a kid, saw this day after day, this demoralizing cycle. And he finally asked his dad, doesn't that just make you want to quit?
And his father's answer became this life-changing mantra. He said, love rejections, collect them like treasure, set rejection goals.
He would aim for 100 rejections every single week because he knew that if you aim for that many no's, a few yeses are basically a mathematical certainty.
This is pure chutzpah, the Yiddish word for just, audacity, nerve.
And there's this fascinating observation in the sources that immigrants often do well because they don't have that same fear of social consequences. They're not afraid to do what you're not supposed to do.
Because what's the downside? A quick no. The upside is unlimited.
This conditioning is so crucial. Think about Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Her dad used to ask her and her brother every night at the dinner table, so what did you guys fail at this week?
Wow. Every night.
Every night. That habit built the resilience she needed to get through years of selling fax machines and then getting rejected by basically every hosiery factory in the country. Success can literally be one no away.
But most people stop at the first one.
We even see this conditioning in our main subject. In 4th grade, there was a challenge to sell $8 magazine subscriptions.
And while the other kids were nervous, his dad's philosophy just kicked in. He didn't worry about being awkward. He just maximized his ask rate.
And won the class pizza party by a landslide. He built his ask muscle through these tiny, low-stakes failures.
And that's really the practical strategy here. Turn rejection into a game. Aim for, say, 25 rejections.
It externalizes it. It lessens the hit to your self-worth. You start to associate the hard work of asking with growth, not with whether you're good enough. The fear of no just shrinks.
But I do wonder about the line between persistence and just, being annoying and burning through your contacts.
That's a fair point. The key is your own conviction. If you genuinely believe what you're offering is helpful, then persistence becomes an ethical thing.
So to help with that, the sources offer 3 pro tips for asking. Pro tip 1 is be persistent.
And understand that most no's are really just not now.
The Microsoft internship story is perfect for this. The one he got rejected for, he followed up 12 times.
12. Before the recruiter finally gave in and offered him an internship that, may or may not have been created just to get him to stop calling.
You have to ask yourself, what kind of mindset lets you keep going after the 5th no?
Then there's pro tip 2. Follow up. This is just data. Studies show the follow-up ask is twice as likely to get a yes.
Twice as likely.
At AppSumo, their data shows almost 50% of their sales come from follow-up emails. If you don't follow up, you are leaving half the money on the table.
And pro tip 3, selling is helping. This reframes everything. If you really believe your product improves lives, then selling is just education.
It's your moral obligation, as Zig Ziglar used to say. It makes asking exciting, not shameful.
We see all of this come together, the NW not how, and the relentless asking in the student discount card story.
Right, HFG Consulting. The initial idea selling these little local discount cards to students was by all accounts a terrible idea. Conventional wisdom said it would fail.
But they didn't analyze the conventional wisdom. The action was immediate. They literally walked out the door and started asking shopkeepers to sign up right then.
No business cards, no fancy website, no official contracts. The pitch was simple. We'll help you get customers for free.
And they generated $50,000 in revenue in a year just by partnering with student groups and selling these $10 cards. They didn't worry about the how. They just started asking.
Which brings us to the ultimate practice tool. If you want to build that ask muscle, you have to get used to the fear. You have to calibrate your response to it.
And that is why we have the coffee challenge.
Here are the instructions. And you should really see this as like a research project on your own psychology. Go to any coffee shop, buy something simple, and ask for 10% off.
And don't say anything else first. The script is just, can I get 10% off?
If they ask why, and they probably will, the best response is to just smile and say, I'm taking a business course, and this is one of the assignments I have to complete.
The point is not to get the discount. You should probably expect a no. The point is to feel that little jolt of discomfort and just push through it.
You're training your brain. You're teaching it that the social punishment for a simple ask is basically 0. People who've done this challenge report amazing results.
Like successfully asking for sponsorship money, overcoming shyness in sales, even just learning to enjoy being outside their comfort zone.
The whole journey we've looked at today, from being fired at Facebook to building multi-million-dollar companies, it's all built on this process of being a starter, an experimenter, and a learner.
You have to stop trying to optimize everything before you even have data. You are enough right now to get going. What you have and what you know is sufficient.
That's the core message. Stop thinking so much and go get busy. The mechanics of business are actually super simple.
It's starting, asking, and iterating. Entrepreneurship is just using those skills to reinvent your life and make it feel more like an adventure than a resume.
So, to leave you with a final thought, one that kind of pulls this all together, if failure is required for growth and asking is necessary for success, what is the one thing in your life right now that you know you should ask for, but you're avoiding?
Whether it's a raise, a big meeting, or just help on a project.
What are you avoiding simply out of the fear of hearing no? Go do that now.